Welcome to Papa Junk's shop. Well, this is that little Kohler generator I got at the engine show. It does run, it does make electric, but I'm going to go through it and put a little paint on it. And I think we're going to permanently install this up in Arron's Observatory because got electric start and we don't need much electric up there, and I think it might work out really good. Besides that, it'll be fun. So I'll give you a quick look-see here. Everything is there. It has the shielded spark plug and the shielded wire. There's no air cleaner. It just has this baffle with a little screen on the back. Had some jumper cables on it. And we got a start button right here. And I think this is even the original muffler. And it does have pull starter also. So let me set you up on the tripod and real quick start it up once before I start the disassembly. I think probably I'm going to go through it, pull the flywheel and stuff off, check the points and get them set and all that good stuff, and I'll probably pull this oil sump off, make sure that's nice and clean too, because we're going to mount it up there permanently and use it, and we want it to be right. So let me get you on a tripod. Before I put you on a tripod, here's the tag. It's really nice shape. It's a model 350C21K7, spec 3002A, single phase, 350 watts, 115 volts, 3 amps, 60 cycles, 1800 RPM, and battery says 6. But it's not very happy on 6. It really likes 12 a lot better, so that's what I'm going to use. Okay, let's see if she'll fire up. So, pretty sure choke is that way. Got a light bulb on her. Of course, when you put the camera on, it's not going to go. Maybe I should look and see. Yeah, it looks like there's enough in there. She isn't even trying. Can't believe it. Alright, let me do some looking. Let's see if I got any spark. You guys probably won't be able to see it, but got lots of spark. When I was at the engine show, it ran for a few minutes and quit, and it wouldn't start again, and there was some crud in the tank and it plugged this off, so I cleaned it out, but it's gone for another ride for an hour and a half, so it might have lost stuff around and plugged this off again. So I let it set there a little while. We'll try it again and see. So maybe if it's not running in there very fast, it might have filled that up now. Now, it wasn't the carburetor that was the problem why it wasn't starting. It was this cap on the spark plug. I took it off to check the spark, and I didn't put it back on to see if it would start. And of course, you guys seen it start, and as soon as I put this back on, it started coughing and sputting and quit. As soon as I lift this off, it would take off again. So apparently this is spark plug that I have in there sticking up too much for this shut off. So alright, let's get into taking her apart and checking her out. Okay, let's get these jumper cables out of the way to start with. Alright, take a look under here. Curious to see what our brushes and commutator and stuff looks like. And if anybody's took up residence in there. Yeah, no mouses, that's good. Let me just start these screws back in there. Maybe I'm gonna, there we go. So, yeah, the brushes all, the ones on the slip rings look good. Everything's nice and free. Yeah, the ones on the commutator are sticking way up nice too. It's got a few cobwebs in there is all. And I'll fire the air compressor up and just blow it out a little bit, but boy, everything looks to be in good shape. Slip rings aren't really pretty looking either, so you know what they say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So I think I'm just going to leave it alone. And the bearing is a sealed bearing, and it didn't sound noisy or anything, so I'm going to say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So fire up the air compressor and blow it out, and I'll be right back. Okay, I got her all blown out. Let's take a look around. Let's see. So, got an adapter in there because that's a twist lock. And I got a bunch of twist locks, but I don't have that one. So I'm debating on whether, I don't know if that thing is wore out or not, or bad shape, but if I can put a regular outlet in there, I just might do that. I'll keep this one just in case, so I can keep it authentic if I decide to. Okay, let's go around this side and see if I can get this stuff off and take a look at the points and stuff. So let me round up some tools and we'll get started on her. Then we'll get this gas line off of there. Get the tank off. Looks like we got 4 screws holding the tank onto the shroud. And apparently they got nuts on them. Alright, didn't expect that. Now we'll get the spark plug out of there, so that there's a screw right here on the top of the shroud. Well, we got, let's hold it on. Oh, we got two on the bottom, sort of like the older Briggs and Strattons had. Now, before I do that, I'm going to have to get this starter cup off, so let me find the stuff to do that. Alright, let's see if I can get this nut off of here. Ooh. Okay, that was easy. So, the nut, well, the starter cup is the nut. I think that's the first time I run into that. So I got that top screw out. Oh, we got two in the bottom. It looked like the older Briggses. I'll say one thing, everything comes apart nicely. Yeah, it's not looking too bad. Well, somebody's been in there before, because you can see some marks where they scraped a little bit of debris out of there or whatever. So, and there is nuts on them that hold the gas tank on, so. Alright, so now we got the flywheel to get off. Looks like we got a couple of tapped holes there. Let me run and get a puller and we'll get that off of there. Okay, got the puller all mounted on there. Give her a crank and see how she goes. Oh, you gotta be kidding. Jeez. Unbelievable. I was all ready to do battle. So there's no magnets or anything in there, it's just a flywheel fan. It's got the magnetic rotor here, sort of like the Clintons do. So, looks like somebody's been in here. I don't think that's original. And the coil's got a few little cracks on the outside of it, but doesn't look like anything serious. The points have got some of that white stuff on them. And let's see, I can turn it over here. Oh, no. I have to put this back. Wow. You can hardly see the points opening at all. I'm surprised it ran. There most certainly isn't much of a gap there. Oh yeah, and I found some information on smokestack specifications and tolerances. And it says the point gap's supposed to be 18 thousandths, and apparently this is adjustable, says 15 degrees before top dead center. So I'll pull that off of there and check it with my checker, and I'll have to get these points cleaned up and gapped. So let me go get my checker and stuff. We'll check that capacitor. I got the capacitor clipped on the wires. I'm just going to let them hang here, and yeah, we'll get you in a little closer so you can see. Now it says to push this button 3 times. 1, 2, 3, and then this one, and it should jump. And it doesn't very well, just a little bit. So it's not a very good one. It says it's about 2.5 microfarads. Okay, let me go look in my stash, see what I come up with for a replacement. Well, I found something. A regular Kohler one, believe it or not. Genuine parts. So, let's get this one checked out. Who knows how old it is. It may not be any good. Just because it's new doesn't mean it's good. So we got her on the tester. Okay. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah, look at that one. 2, 3. That's more like it. Okay. So we got a good capacitor, condenser, whatever you prefer. And this screw was just barely tight. And this nut that held that wire on there for the capacitor wasn't very tight either. So I don't know who worked on this, but they weren't very strong, apparently. So I'll pop you off of there, give you a better look at those points. You can see they're pretty crappy looking. And they hardly open at all, so I think I'm going to take them right out of there and give them a good cleaning, and then we'll get it gapped. Alright, I got the points all cleaned up and ready to go, but I'm not going to put them in yet. I'm going to do some cleaning here and pull it off this board and get this base pulled off and make sure it's nice and clean in there. So, see you in a bit. Now let's see what the oil looks like out of her. So the dipstick is in where the drain should be. Okay. All kinds of interesting things going on here. Well, it's nice and black looking. Place I can get right in here. So let's see what this one looks like. Yeah, this should be down there and that should be up there. Okay, we'll get that drained the rest of the way and we'll pull these bolts off and lift that off of there and we'll get that all cleaned out nice. Okay, I got all the base bolts out, and I got the chainfall hooked on her because she's a heavy little bugger. Now, it's always the other one. We're a little heavy on the generator side. Okay, should be clear. this is what we got. It's not terrible. A little goo in there, but it's not real thick. So apparently this is where the rod dipped into. If I can look underneath there. Yeah, it's just got a dipper. I don't see no oil pump or anything, so there's a looks like a hole in this end of that thing where the oil flows into there. Okay, do a little cleaning. Yeah, I thought I'd turn her upside down and take a look, see what we got going on in here. And things look pretty good. Don't think I'm going to mess with anything. It's got a pretty good sized governor there. It's got 4 sets of weights on it. And there's the spring. I wondered how that governor had tension on it. And this has got the single lobe cam. And I didn't take the rod cap off, but everything seems nice and tight. So other than cleaning that base up, and the gasket stayed fine, so we're all good there. So back to cleaning. Yeah, got the base back on, got her cleaned up, got it taped up enough so I can squirt a little paint on it. And remember the dipstick was down here instead of up there. Well, I found out why. When I started to clean the base up, somebody had screwed it in here cross-threaded and screwed up the threads in this, and this one is tapered so that it dropped down in far enough that it went in alright. When I tried to put this in the right place, it didn't want to go, so I wound up having to take a pipe tap and straighten these threads back out. Now it works okay. And I got the shroud and the gas tank and the cover and all that stuff all cleaned up, ready to go too. So I'm gonna give them a squirt of paint. Okay, got her squirted. I used some of this old school paint, Sherwin-Williams, Camel Luster enamel. I'm telling you what, the old paint is so much nicer than the new stuff. If any of you guys get a chance to get any of the old stuff, don't pass it up. Let's see, I got the gas tank over here. It just goes on so smooth. One coat, nice and shiny. There's the other covers. Still using the old wash machines. They make good paint booths. Started to say, so we'll let her dry for a couple of days and reassemble her. Okay, I'm up to Arron's Observatory where we're going to use this little generator. And while the paint was drying yesterday, I built a little form and poured a little concrete pier for it to sit on. So let's take the form off and see what we got. Might be a disaster, or might be something usable. Guess I should have brought a crowbar around. There we go. Now I made them holes just right, because you don't have much leeway on the base of that generator for size. Well, that ain't pretty, but sort of what I figured. I can dress that up a little bit with some more. Let's see what the rest of it looks like. That one's camouflaged, but I found her. Both sides look alright. Couple more in here. A couple of pieces of rebar just hold it in place. You know what? I'm going to leave it on there because I'm going to mix up a little bit of fine stuff and touch this up a little bit. So I'll take you off the tripod and show you what we got. So the base part of it come out alright. And like I say, this settled a little bit, so I'll mix up a little bit of fine stuff and touch this up. I'll just leave this form right on there. Alright, so we're making progress. Okay, let's start putting this little guy back together. Guess we'll start with the points. I took them apart, got them all clean, put a drop of oil on the wick like it says. And I got the crankshaft in the highest position so the points will be open to set the gap. Got one of them screwdrivers that holds screws, but too lazy to go get it. I'd rather look for it on the floor amongst all the other debris when I drop it. It's more fun. Okay, so we're gonna just and the new condenser has this gigantic bracket on it, which is not going to be happy there, so I went over in my stash and I found one off another capacitor that looks more suitable for this project. Okay, so this wire is plenty long. Just give it a little curly cue. Get this little nut off of there. The coil and the capacitor, condenser, whichever you prefer. Oops. I don't want them touching anything else, but okay. Now, got a feeler gauge here, 18 thousandths all ready to go. Guess that's a little bit too snug. Maybe this was a little too snug too. Let's see, the old eyeball says that should be pretty close. Make sure there isn't anything on this feeler gauge. No, need a little more. Nope, still need a little more. Gonna just snug this just a little more. There. Really close, but not quite. I don't take much snugging. Oops, that's too much now. Yep. No. There, that's just touching. Alright. Guess we can throw the flywheel on and see if we got spark. Looks like we're good to go. Hopefully you can see that. Just whirling it by hand. Alright, we'll put get the gas tank mounted back on the shroud and get things back together. Nothing too exciting about that, so I'll show you the final results. Got it all back together, got some oil in it, got some gas in it. Not real happy with this, but there wasn't a lot of choices on how to do it. I was going to turn the gas tank around and run it around this way, but this gas tank's offset and it hit the spark plug if you turned it around, so that didn't work. And got the jumper cables on it, and I did replace that outlet with a standard one, so I didn't have a twist lock to fit it, so I'm just going to go with a regular one. So see if she fires up. Cycle. It's going to turn on that 250 watt heater. That's one of the 100 watt bulbs. Cycles. I got 118 volts with the heater on. Hey, that shutoff thing gets warm. So, guess we're good to go. Might take a little minor adjustments once it runs a little bit. So, go to work on making a case for it. So when we mount it on that piece of concrete up there, it'll have some protection. Well, it's the next day, and it's going to work on that case for this thing, but it's kind of chilly and rainy and just a not really nice fall day, so I wasn't real happy with the way it was running, because when I had the 350 watt load on it, which is what it's rated for, it was like wide open throttle, and it just didn't sound right in the exhaust note, and it just seemed like it got excessively hot air coming out of here. So I know the timing is adjustable on this thing, and I hate to mess with them, but I decided to mess with it and kind of figured out it said 15 degrees before top dead center, and it wasn't even close to that. So I reset all that, and it starts easier now. It sounds better, and it doesn't seem to heat up. And when it's got the 350 watt load on it, it's only running about half throttle. It's still got more oomph. So I think somebody had that timing way out of whack, so now I'm happy with it. So I'm going to call this a video. We'll work on that case and get it mounted and make that into another video. So if you enjoyed it, give me a thumbs up. Haven't subscribed, please do. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.